It's Juan again from Physique Transformation Academy. It's the beginning of November, and I just competed this past weekend at the Jim Morris Classic in Kitchener, Ontario. I was so fortunate enough to win the heavyweight class out of 3 guys, so I'm super excited about that, as this is a next step into my career as a bodybuilder, looking to obtain a pro physique that will earn a pro card in the future. So today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about my prep. Just talk about a few minutes about what I did different than previous times, how this prep differed. This time around, I worked with Robin Strand, which is an IFBB pro. He was Mr. Canada in 2018, and I can confidently say this was my best physique I've ever had and the best peak I've ever had. It was an amazing balance between condition, size, and just overall bringing in a good package to the stage. And the feedback I got from the judges was amazing. I was super happy because they pretty much just said, if you are looking to obtain a pro card, you just got to keep making the progress you made from last time, come in a tiny bit sharper, and you're a good contender for a pro card. So I'm so happy about that. Now, what did I do different? In the past, I had worked with a different coach, and it was just a lot of a different journey. This time around, I did a lower fat, higher carb, moderate protein approach. In the past, I had done very high protein approach with moderate to lower fats and very low carb. I found my metabolism to fire a lot better this time around. My metabolism was going. I had more energy overall for training, so I really liked the aspect of that, and I was losing fat consistently day by day by day. Now, because I was keeping the carbs, I was keeping them a little bit lower on non-training days and a little bit higher on training days. It also kept my weight pretty stable, as opposed to in the past when I would have, say, a little bit more carbs during workout days, and other days I would have completely no carb. It was a little bit major fluctuations, which I sometimes can get a little bit confusing. So in terms of diet, it was that. I did macros with Robin Strand, so I know how to eat pretty well. I know what foods work well with my body. He kind of just helped me tweak my macros, and I found that I was able to enjoy meals and foods that I like. So I was really happy about that. My calories never really dipped below 1,900 calories, which is a little bit lower for a guy my size, but to be honest with you, it wasn't bad at all, because in the past, I've had to go as low as 1,400, and that is not fun. Now, in terms of cardio, in the past, I've mainly just done steady state to get in shape. I remember my last competition in 2018, I was doing 2 hours of cardio a day at about 5 to 6 weeks out already. It's tough. It's what I had to do to work on getting in shape. But this time around, we implemented a lot of HIIT. Now, I won't lie, that wasn't my idea necessarily. That was mostly Robin's idea. And it worked extremely well in order to maintain muscle, in order to lose even more body fat. We were doing HIIT towards the end at 5 days a week. We were doing mainly bike sprints, which I actually really enjoy, as hard as they are. And we were doing deadlift HIIT, which my clients know about this. It's about doing 200 reps of deadlifts within about the 20-minute range. So those were brutal. Those HIIT sessions were brutal, but they were shorter. So I wasn't doing so much cardio that I was so burnt out and losing muscle. Now, that was one of my main concerns. In the past, every prep I've done, I've lost muscle, I've lost strength. This time, I actually gained strength, and I do feel like I gained a little bit of muscle. I was ecstatic about that, because now that the prep is over, I can pick right back up where I was, and now I can continue making some awesome gains this off season in order to obtain that pro physique I'm searching, or I'm going after. So that was in terms of cardio. In terms of training, I do my own training. I am a huge believer, and I have been in the last 1.5 years, of dog crap training by Dante Trudel. I put my own spin to it. I don't follow it exactly as he says, but essentially what it is, it's a lower volume, higher frequency, super intense approach. It's about training hard and heavy. As you guys know, I won this heavyweight class by training in my basement for 1.5 years. So I didn't really train at any gym. The last few weeks, I've been going to visit Robin at Pure Muscle and Fitness in Burlington a little bit. So of course, he's put me through a few workouts here and there, but most of my training is done at home. As you guys can see here, this is my home gym. So honestly, back to the old school grind. I'm an old school guy. I love barbells, dumbbells, and just basic machines. Lots of deadlifts, lots of squats, lots of barbell bench presses, lots of dumbbell work, and of course I do have the hack squat, I have the machine press, I have the cable station, but the meat and potatoes are barbells and dumbbells for me, and that has worked really well. Now, That's in terms of training. I was training at first 5 days a week, towards the end 6 days a week. Again, just very, very high intensity approach. Most sets are to failure, lots of rest pause. I'm not a huge fan of supersets, but towards the end I was implementing some supersets for sure, and I do think they worked well. I'm not a huge fan of drop sets either, so I didn't do a ton of those, but overall I was super happy. Now supplement wise, as we all know, there's super supplements in bodybuilding. I have never used such little super supplements and gotten in the best shape of my life, and I gotta thank Robin for that, because bodybuilders and coaches have this misconception that you need a ton of things to get moving, and I feel like the majority of people use a ton of things because everybody else is using a ton of things. Not for me. I am so grateful to Robin that he takes an extremely smart approach, and we used not much at all, and again, I got in the best shape of my life at the biggest I've ever been. So I am so grateful for that, because in the past, my previous coach would have me on fat burners starting at 16 weeks out, and I was so burnt out by the end, again, losing muscle, just feeling like absolute garbage. So I'm so grateful for that. Overall, that was the main approach, and just a matter of hard work. Now, this prep differed a little bit from the past. It was actually the easiest prep I've ever done, mentally and physically, although this time I have kids. So with kids, it can be really, really challenging. But at the same time, my last prep and all the preps prior to that, I was working a full-time job. Not that I don't work a full-time job now with my business, but I can make my own schedule, which I'm really grateful for. I also really enjoy what I do, and I work from home. So those are huge perks in order for me to be my very best. As opposed to, commuting. I used to commute about 2 hours a day. I used to have to work 10-hour shifts. That can be really, really challenging to fit everything in. In terms of posing, I worked so hard with posing, and Robin helped me out a lot in that aspect. I was doing 20 to 30 minutes of posing every single day, starting at about 16 weeks out. I've only missed one session, which was when I had to move. So during that move, that was really, really hard. I missed that one session then. In terms of training, nutrition, and cardio, I never miss a session. Even in off season, I do not miss them. Why? Because that consistency is what makes a champion. Being a champion is a matter of mindset, not necessarily a placing or an award. So that's the main approach I took, guys, and I was so happy, and I am very, very confident if I keep progressing at this rate, if I keep working hard, that I can grow into being a much bigger heavyweight, as I was at the very low end of the weight class. I competed at about 204 pounds, and the heavyweight class in bodybuilding is 198 to 224. So if I can come in at a solid 220 to 224, I truly do believe I can be deadly on that stage and be a contender for a pro card. So thanks so much for watching, guys. That's a little bit of the approach I took. It's been an amazing journey. In January 2020, as many of you know, I had a major setback with my brain. They discovered I had something called an AVM, which essentially is an improper connection between arteries and veins in my brain. And essentially I was having stroke-like symptoms, as many of you know. I went to the hospital. They weren't sure if I was gonna survive or not. Then they told me I needed a brain surgery. They weren't sure what the chances of surviving that would be, or if I would have long-lasting brain damage. I remember crying and mainly thinking about my son, that I didn't want to leave him behind, but I also really thought about bodybuilding. If I were to survive this challenge, I probably would never be able to bodybuild again, and I most likely wouldn't be able to set foot in the gym again. Well, I went into the hospital on a Saturday, I came out on the Friday. Saturday morning, I was back doing cardio. It was very slow. I had the worst headache of my life, but I knew I had to move, because if I would just lay in bed, I was not going to get anywhere, and I was going to feel even worse. By Monday morning, I was back in the gym, moving about 10% of the weight I was used to moving, and that was about for 6 months. It was really rough, but I didn't quit. And I can tell you right now, no matter how hard it is or how bad things get, you can make it. And I'm so grateful to God and my family that I was able to overcome that, and I truly do feel like I'm at the best ever right now, and I'm just going to keep progressing. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thanks so much for all the support. To me, it's a miracle that I'm still alive here and that I'm at my best ever with bodybuilding. Again, I'm so grateful. Thank you to Robin Strand, to my wife, who she helps me out dramatically. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do bodybuilding. to my mother, my sister. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do bodybuilding as well, because they support me so much to help me take care of the kids. And any of you who message me on Instagram, who like my stuff, who support me, I'm so grateful for you. Believe me, it hits my heart every time you guys support me, because if it wasn't for all you guys, I wouldn't be able to live such an amazing life, helping others be their very best. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more awesome material.